Hi, November 24 of 2024. I booked my flight from Toronto to Bangalore through Air Canada. So I had a connecting flight in Paris. Well, it snowed so much in Paris that all of the flights were delayed. My flight was delayed by 3 hours. 6 p.m. was my departure time, but I only flew at 9 p.m. So 3 hours of lost time. By the time I landed at Paris, my connecting flight, which I had only about 2 hours of transit time, was already missed. Well, I could have called the customer representative ahead of time and told them that I had an issue with the delayed flight, so they could have helped me put myself in the next available flight to Bangalore. Anyway, that was done. The customer representative at Air France in Toronto airport, he told me that I could go to Paris, and once I landed at Paris, they'll be able to put me in the next available flight. I know it is true, and that's what happened. But if I would have called the customer representative ahead of time over, and if I had a phone conversation with them, the next connecting flight would have been much sooner. So after I landed there, I was blown away by the number of passengers flights who were delayed. They all arrived late, and everyone's got issues. I think more than, like, can you imagine, 1,000 plus people. So all of the counters and everything was full and packed. It was very hard. So I waited 4 hours to talk to people at the kiosk because there is no other way out. I just had to stand in the queue. By the time I went, it was my turn. They told me that there are no other flights that are flying to Bangalore for that day. So they booked me a flight to Dubai, and I had a 12-hour layover. 12 hours. Can you believe that? So that was like 16 hours I spent at Paris airport. It was a nightmare. So I just stayed there. My connecting flight from Paris to Dubai. So they changed the airlines. They had a partnership with Emirates. So they checked with Emirates. They had a spot for me, and I flew through Emirates to Dubai from Paris. So my layover was 16 hours, as I said. They gave me $15 voucher that I can buy anything to eat or drink. Well, which is nice of them. I've done that. I I spent 16 hours just roaming, sleeping at the airport. Then I landed at Dubai. I had 4 more hours of layover, 4 more hours. So I went, I was shopping, like trying to get perfumes or, duty free liquor for my uncles. So I killed the time, then I hopped on the flight, then I landed at Bangalore. So initially, my whole journey was supposed to be within 24 hours, but because of the delayed flights and lots of layover, I was able to reach Bangalore in 2 days. 2 days. Like, that's 48 hours. That's a lot of time. Well, by the time I landed in Bangalore, guess what? There was missing baggage. I filed a PIR report, which is property irregularity report, and they said they will track where my baggage is and they will deliver it to my house. So I gave my sister's address in Bangalore, and they delivered my luggage in 5 business days. So that's like 7 to 8 days in total. That took like 5 days, and then you have like weekend and all of that. So 7 plus days. Well, I was traveling to India to attend a wedding, and all of my wedding attires were lost in the baggage. And I was actually scared because spent a lot of time shopping for gifts and all of that to my friends and family. And imagine losing that. So I filed PIR report, property irregularity report, at the airport, where I had to tell them what items I bought and how much they are worth and all of that. Well, anyway, the baggage has come. I checked everything, like, my 2 bags, they were sealed properly, and all of my belongings were there, which is good. So in my case, because I had like a lost baggage and a missing flight, I decided I will ask them for a refund. So I went to Air France's website and I wanted to claim a refund because I had delayed baggage and also missing flight. Well, delayed baggage sounds like a silly issue, but I was traveling for an Indian wedding, and All of my belongings were in there, including wedding attire. And I had to shop everything. So that was painful. Well, they did give me, so I claimed for $300. It's not much, so that's what I wanted to claim because of the expenses that I spent. But they only refunded about $150 or $175, if I'm right. So you just go to the Air France website, look for the refund, just fill up all of those details, and then boom. So it took me like 4 business days. They told me that that's what they'd give me. And for delayed flights or missing flights, they're not going to do anything about it. One good thing is from Dubai to Bangalore, I was traveling through Emirates, which is not Air France. So they paid for Emirates flight. That's good. But again, it's not my fault, right? It's their fault. And if they don't do that, then I think, they would lose the customer. So it's just not for me. They have done that for most people who have lost or missed their flights during that term. It was very bad. I can tell you more than 1,000 people were stranded in the airport, and they were all waiting for help. And they had not enough customer representatives who were helping. Their kiosks were all full, and it was a big mess. So in my experience, if I have to tell you, avoid flying through airport or locations during winter where it snows so much. Like you can avoid UK, like London airport, Heathrow. You can avoid Paris. You can avoid Toronto Pearson because it snows so much, and some of the US airports as well, because that's one of those reasons why you would miss your flight, because it snows so much or because of the weather. And also ensure that you have 4 to 5 hour window period so that you have decent amount of layover and transit time. I think it's crucial. I remember I booked a flight from Dubai to Bangalore even in 2020 when I was visiting 2021 during COVID, and I missed my flight because I did not have enough transit time and they wanted to do COVID checks at the airport. So I would say 2 hours is not good enough amount of time. Ensure you have 4 hours. Every time I had less layover, I missed my flight. So I think at least I missed 3 flights for that reason. So anyway, one more issue I'd like to cover is so if you ever miss your flight or if your baggage is delayed, just follow the protocols and wait. Fill up the PIR number, which is Property Irregularity Report, at the airport, and hopefully they'll get back to you. So Air France is at least a decent one. So I was able to get a free transfer from Dubai to Bangalore. They gave me a $15 voucher that I can eat the layover for food or whatever. So that's also sweet. And they tried their best to get me on board, and they gave the Emirates flight. Emirates is not cheap either. What more, I claimed for refund and they did give me half of what I requested. So I think if I have to take Air France again, I think I would take Air France because I think they are a decent flight. But it was just a tough time for them. 1 or 2 days of bad weather is all it takes to get negative reviews by customers. But I think I don't want to be so harsh on them. They've been very helpful. So if you'd like to take Air France, I would suggest yes. But as I said, winters, any country, you have to be little skeptical about booking flight in winters, whichever country. If it snows especially, I think you have a high probability you would miss your flight. In my experience, Air Canada is the worst airlines that I've ever taken. At one time from Dubai to Bangalore airport, when I was traveling at the Dubai airport, they were checking the baggage, and for anything extra weightage, you either have to pay the amount or discard those items. So it was very hard. A lot of them decided to discard. However, I paid because I did not want to discard any of those items that I shopped. So I took everything. And once I landed at the Delhi airport, Air India, they were doing protocols and all of that, security checks. So I just missed my flight and I could not get a connecting flight to the city where I wanted to go. So I wanted to go to Tirupati then they had no other way out. So I had to travel to Bangalore and then find a cab or get a help of a friend to get to Tirupati. It was very hard for me to do that. It's about like 4 hours, 4 to 6 hours of travel time by road. If you are planning to take Air Canada, I would suggest anything between US and Canada, I think you are in good hands. If you miss your flight due to immigration or delayed flight for any other reason, they'll get you on the next immediate or available flight possible to US. So I was traveling from Toronto to JFK, and I missed my flight because of the immigration. It took me so long to get past the immigration, so they gave a free flight. I hopped onto the next one, which is like within 1 hour of window frame. So I went there, I landed. Again, my baggage was missing, but it arrived on the next flight. So just 2 hours of delayed time for flying, and then also the baggage. But I think Air Canada is also decent. that's that's it for today. I hope this video helps. So don't be too critical about your airlines. Look for the reviews, whoever you choose. And I mean, if you do miss your baggage or delayed flight, you know what to do. You can ask for a refund and see where it goes. In my case, I was able to get refunded a little bit. So good luck. Hope this helps.